Hey there, Rageaholics. I bet you're wondering where the hell I am. Well, I'm at Capsules and Coasters, an arcade right here in Phoenix, Arizona. 2 stories of video game brilliance. And I'm here to talk about my top 5 favorite arcade games of all time. To those who are born just a little too young to have experienced the phenomenon, the best way I can describe it to a layman is to say, from the popcorn smell in the air to the mood lighting to the neon trim, it's kind of like a movie theater for video games, and I do believe the industry has been missing the atmosphere of this place since arcades took the red eye out of here back in '95. So folks, without further ado, let's rip the band-aid off and talk about my top 5 favorite arcade games of all time. Neo goddamn Geo. Pause for a moment, drink it in, caress every lithe contour of its namesake, the steepled crevice of the N, the sensual curvature of the G, the rigidly throbbing E, steadily snaking its way to the briniest depths of your supple lavender-scented anus. Look, Neo Geo's not only the shit, it's the shit immediately adjacent to the shit that shit aspires to surpass an unbridled the shititude. Through the omnipresent Neo Geo cabinet crouching unassumingly in the corner of every local pizzeria in existence, many a billabong-bedecked 90s kid had their King of Fighters or World Heroes cherry unwittingly pulverized while waiting for their free book report pan pizza. But a fortunate few recall with glee the first time they were pummeled by the pioneering Samurai Showdown, and its unquestionable apex is Samurai Showdown the Second. As thick with feudal Japanese atmosphere as it is with unbridled xenophobic contempt for any and all gaijin, repository of more dysgrammatic English than a dyslexic Dragon Ball fandub,
and Drew saying always sprinkles when he tinkles. Ugh.
Inventor of the fatality, grand wizard of weapon-based combat before Soul Calibur was a bead of sweat on Namco's increasingly herniated nutsack, Samurai Showdown 2 is a game apart, fusing the more deliberate strategic approach of early Street Fighter with unique innovations all its own, like dash moves, sword clashes, super combos, weapon destruction, pre-match dialogue, and oh the fuck so much more. If you ain't down with the showdown, I got one word for ya: victory! When YouTube pseudo-historians revisit the arcade Arcadia of yore, they often fixate on the dominance of just a handful of genres: beat-em-ups, rail shooters, and the eternal stalwarts, the fighting games. And while each of the above genre is massively important, I find it deeply telling that virtually none of these genres enjoyed anything resembling commercial prominence, or for that matter existed, until the funnel cloud of flannel touched the earth in the early 90s. Look, it's natural to be biased by the era you grew up in, and in the interest of full disclosure, I myself am a child of the 90s, but that doesn't make me blind to the benchmarks of yore. As such, to this day, I stand in breathless awe at the feet of a 20-story obelisk by the name of
John C.
Donkey Kong, which isn't to say my personal bias doesn't factor in here. As I've readily admitted in the past, I am a full-bore Donkey Kong mark. Donkey Kong's earliest outings factored heavily into my childhood decisions to imbibe in the 8, 16, and 64-bit console offerings from Nintendo, a near 15-year uninterrupted DK love-in that it took Donkey Kong, more precisely its insufferable Good Charlotte pandertisements, to snap the fucking twain. The original Donkey Kong is a curious dichotomy in that even as gamers and publications trip over their own dicks in fervid tribute to the game and its ineradicable legacy on Nintendo platforming and the industry in general, they simultaneously regard it as a quaint artifact of the early 80s that grows ever more archaic with each revolution of the timepiece. Bullshit to the 19th power, I say!
That's some bullshit.
Revisit OG Donkey Kong, and what you find instead is an uninterrupted procession of ingeniously sadistic platforming puzzles, exponentially increasing in nad-pulverizing difficulty until you lie prostrate before the arcade cabinet pleading for clemency, with randomized enemy and environmental algorithms that this is a rare case where even memorization will not save your pasty ass. This is Donkey Kong, motherfucker. You're not Super Mario, you're a tombstone and a plumber hat. And all that stomping on Goombas, swinging Bowser by the tail shit is going right out the window, because the moment the barrels start flying, you're gonna be dodging like Bill Clinton at a draft board. It's merciless, it's savage, it's vaguely satanic, and it hurts so good. Next! If you watch my show for any length of time, you know by now, RazörFist loves his motherfucking mech games. Mech Warrior, Hawkins, Steel Battalion, even the Baron of batshit Metal Wolf Chaos.
Mr. President, believe in your own justice.
Long before I booted up a home PC and LRM the fuck out of some godless filthy clanners in my Atlas, I was buckling the fuck into the arcade cabinet for the heavy metal melee of Virtual On. Whereas Armored Core is so Asian even the fucking mechs are overcompensating, Virtual On takes a unique East meets West approach. The result is an unerring metallic rampage with the addictive properties of deep-fried smack. Best of all, in a modern age of headset-bedecked minority minors hurling unbidden racial epithets at strangers via the internet while daddy rams the milkman, in Virtual On, if you want to duel a motherfucker, you have to grow a dick, look him in the eye, and park your hoary hindquarters in the arcade cabinet right the fuck next to him like a mule. Or mildly neglected child whose parents are busy at the dry cleaners. Virtual On has it all! Heavy mechs, tactical mechs, sword-wielding Japanese fuck-off mechs, 7 stages slathered in a dense veneer of sterling cyberpunk. Even the bleeding-edge 1996 3D can't dissuade my inordinately protuberant erection. Whatever your fancy, it will throttle you directly in your sandcake no-no parts. You've been warned, clanner scum. Next!
X-Men.
This game is so good, so nigh universally regarded as a monument to its genre and time frame, I almost don't even want to talk about it. So I won't. Later. X-Men, you're so fucking fun! Fuck me in the butt already! How is it that a game made in 1992 with character designs from fucking 1812 and the same tried and tested, milk to death, chemically reanimated, and milk the fuck again beat 'em up formula that was parachute pant pervasive in the early 90s, nevertheless feels refreshing to the 10 trillionth power? Is it the subject matter, the art style, the subtle flourishes like enemy grabs, superpowers, or 6-player co-op, the innumerable vapid internet memes it spawned that we all wish would welcome to die? Whatever it is, given the state of contempo Konami, you better bottle that shit and huff it like a panic-stricken asthmatic in a hot glue factory, because your financial problems have financial problems. Of course, that implies that there's a solitary problem in Western civilization that can't be solved by a conservative application of BOP!
It's over! Champion coming at home! Can you believe that?
Has any well-hung heterosexual in all of Christendom ever rocked a pair of thigh highs and a red Speedo harder than this steel-plated Stalinist right the fuck here? Beats the fuck out of Cyclops' full-body Jimmy hat, that's for sure. And Dazzler baby, nice effort with the Mr. Rogers windbreaker. Might have given some thought to springing for the pants. I'm not saying your Smurf glue unitard is too tight, but midgets are using your cunt to tell time. Whether you're tromping through the verdant jungles of the Savage Land or bashing BattleBots in the nondescript murder fortress of Magneto, Master of Magnet, there are few arcade experiences more balls out badass than X-Men. X-Men. Everyone loves it, and with damn good reason. An idiosyncratic arcade masterpiece. Play it. As turgid as I become at the merest mention of Mech Warrior, a no-frills name drop of the immortal space sim genre, and my penile propulsion hits sublight speeds. And just a couple years after Space Rogue, and mere months after Wing Commander, Atari dropped a thermonuclear bombshell in the nascent genre. Who would have conceived that a chance meeting with Space Lords at a grade school pizza party in '94 would forever change my life as a gamer? I defy you to have played this in the early '90s and look at gaming quite the same way ever again. First person, arcade space sim action, wait for it, With 4-player fucking co-op, a full year before Doom and a half-decade before GoldenEye. Brilliantly implemented co-op at that. You can either kick back cooperatively as 2 separate ships, or your best pal, a complete stranger or piss-stinking hobo, can sidle the fuck up, take the back seat, and mount the rear fucking cannon of one of 8 selectable spacecraft and be your goddamn tail gunner. Or a team of 4, 2 pilots and 2 gunners, can square off in a deathmatch that predated Doom inventing the concept by over a fucking year, all in sprite-based simulated 3D. The unbridled, innovative impact of this lone arcade cabinet cannot conceivably be overstated. And while I'd love to beguile you all with a bevy of gameplay footage, sadly, as of 2015, Space Lords has yet to be successfully emulated for MAME or any other arcade equivalent in existence. And naturally, it was never ported to home consoles because it was Atari, it was the 90s, and who the fuck wants all that stinky money cluttering up their apocalyptically overdrawn corporate bank accounts? Meaning if you want to slide into the cockpit, take firm grasp of the flight stick, and fall back into the finest arcade space sim ever made, you either have to sell your pancreas to Chinese organ thieves to purchase the physical fucking cabinet, or stumble drunkenly into the machine at one of the 5 remaining arcades on planet Earth. Whatever you choose, if you find yourself stumbling on the albino unicorn that is Space Lords, dally the fuck not. Play this shit. I'm RazörFist, and I'm well aware that out of necessity I have left many a worthy title unname-checked here, so avail yourselves of the comments section below, and let us all take one step back together into the golden era of the original social gaming service. The arcade is dead. Long live the arcade. God fucking speed.
Turn around, someone tries to bring me down, spinning in the whirlpool. Competition overrules again.
Dead! Ex-chicken, you are dead!